When a country's economy is doing well, growing and creating jobs, more people are drawn to move there. They see opportunities for work, higher incomes, and a better quality of life. On the other hand, if a country's economy starts to struggle, with fewer jobs and lower wages, people might decide to leave, seeking better prospects elsewhere. From January to September 2023, over 22,000 Chinese individuals applied for asylum in the United States after crossing the Mexican border illegally. This number suggests that even more people are currently waiting at the Mexican border, attempting to cross into the U.S. Moreover, there's widespread discussion about wealthy Chinese individuals looking for ways to safeguard and transfer their assets abroad, using places like Singapore and Hong Kong for investments, or purchasing properties in Japan, among other strategies. The current state of the Chinese stock market is sluggish, struggling to make a significant recovery. While the stock market does not reflect the entire economy, it is rare for a country's economy to thrive when its stock market is performing poorly. This situation indicates a lack of confidence and hope among economic agents in China, particularly in the leadership of Xi Jinping and the Communist Party. If people believed in the party's guidance and the prospect of future improvement as they had in the past, fewer would be looking to leave China. Although the numbers leaving are small relative to China's total population, the emerging trend of emigration is noteworthy, especially since this was not common in the past. People would not endure the hardship of traveling thousands of kilometers if they believed in a prosperous future within China. Okay then, how has Xi Jinping's policy led to a loss of trust among the Chinese people? Many experts are saying that everything started with the 2008 subprime mortgage crisis that swept the entire world's economy. Faced with the meltdown of global finance triggered by problems in the US, China decided it could not afford to follow the same path and needed to find its way to sustain itself. As a result, China initiated massive investments within its borders. According to expert estimates, from 2008 to 2013, Chinese banks put as much money into their own country's real estate and infrastructure projects as American banks loaned out over 150 years. This substantial injection of funds led to the rapid construction of apartments, roads, ports, airports, and railways, significantly contributing to explosive economic growth. Hosting the Olympics in 2008 also bolstered national and international confidence, attracting foreign investment. Through investments in construction, China fueled its economy throughout the 2010s. However, even when these investments stopped making money and economic problems appeared, similar to usual ups and downs in the economy, China kept putting money into real estate without finding a solution. This is how China consistently achieved an economic growth rate of 7 to 10% during the 2010s. However, this situation was exacerbated by the outbreak of COVID-19. At the same time, it was a critical moment for Xi Jinping to secure long-term power by changing the law. To manage public dissatisfaction, Xi Jinping implemented strict shutdowns to control public opinion. This resulted in nearly 3 years of economic inactivity, severely impacting businesses and companies, many of which failed. Unlike the United States, which injected significant funds to prevent economic collapse during COVID-19, China could not afford to do the same. If you think about it, it's obviously impossible. How can you do that to 1.3 billion? Starting from that point, a harmful cycle begins. People can't afford to buy homes, which causes real estate companies to fail. This failure then locks up investments, pulling the economy down. Because of this, people without enough money can't buy homes, leading to more problems in the real estate sector. The situation worsens as industries outside of real estate, such as IT, private education, and entertainment, which do not align well with President Xi Jinping's Communist Party policies, face crackdowns. The case of Jack Ma is a notable example. This situation results in young people not finding stable jobs, forcing them into temporary work or jobs like delivering food. Currently, China's youth unemployment rate is at a historic high. Typically, in such economic downturns, solutions are sought outside the country. If businesses can thrive abroad, the money they earn could help stimulate the domestic economy. However, if you think back to how China has acted diplomatically over the 3 years of COVID-19, including its support for Russia in the Ukraine war, China's relationship with Europe and the United States has significantly worsened. The idea of decoupling, or the West and China separating their economic and political ties, has started to emerge. As a result, companies that once relied on trade with the West are moving out of China, setting up factories in Mexico, Africa, and other locations, thus shifting employment overseas. Foreign investment is also withdrawing. In 2023, foreign direct investment into China decreased by 82% compared to the previous year. By the third quarter, there was a net outflow of investment. More money was withdrawn by foreigners than was invested, exacerbating the economic challenges. China's economy is reportedly growing at 5%, but this growth is largely attributed to state-owned enterprises, suggesting that the actual economic experience for the Chinese people may be significantly worse than these figures indicate. The People's Bank of China has lowered lending and deposit rates to stimulate economic growth, but whether this will effectively revive the Chinese economy remains questionable. The core issue is that to invigorate the economy, it's crucial to encourage consumer spending. However, the reluctance of Chinese consumers to spend is not due to high interest rates. It's because of a lack of confidence in the economy. People are willing to take on debt to buy homes and invest if they are confident about future income growth and their ability to live better in 5 to 10 years. Without this confidence, they hesitate to make such commitments. Currently, many in China believe that under President Xi Jinping's political direction, significant positive changes in the economy are unlikely, leading them to save or hoard any money they have rather than spend it. Addressing this issue requires injecting a substantial amount of money into the economy, a strategy employed by the United States. As a holder of the dollar, the U.S. can afford to release a large sum of money to temporarily resolve issues, dealing with the potential side effects later. However, this approach is not feasible for China. You might wonder what the Chinese government is doing about this situation. It's obvious that when the economy goes down, the stability of the government also declines, right? However, it's interesting to note that Xi Jinping doesn't seem to prioritize stimulating domestic consumption and boosting spending within China. It appears that national policy goals do not align with driving the internal market. Xi Jinping's focus seems to be on strategic competition with the United States, developing semiconductors and AI, expanding the military, and considering the unification with Taiwan. These objectives seem to overshadow the immediate need to allocate funds to stimulate the economy and improve people's spending power. While the government might be concerned about declining public sentiment if the economy worsens, prioritizing these concerns seems secondary. A recent example illustrates this situation. Currently, there's unrest in the Middle East, with Houthi rebels in Yemen targeting maritime shipping, which heavily affects European and Chinese interests. Europe faces difficulties because this disrupts a key shipping route for goods from China, leading to major challenges for Chinese exporters. Ideally, the Chinese government should intervene to resolve this issue, but it has not taken significant action. This inaction is perceived to be because the Communist Party of China sees the situation as politically advantageous in complicating matters for the United States. For them, the political leverage gained from this situation seems to outweigh the immediate economic benefits of ensuring smooth exports for Chinese companies. This perspective suggests that China's policies prioritize strategic competition with the U.S. and objectives like the unification with Taiwan over quickly boosting domestic demand and consumer spending. From my perspective, China is caught in 4 major traps: debt, reduced consumer spending, a declining population, and economic and technological sanctions from the United States. While the Chinese government is undoubtedly aware of these issues, it's uncertain whether they can successfully overcome them. The problem has deepened because United States and Europe have started to see China in a new light. They used to think that bringing China into the global market system would make it more democratic, advanced, and cooperative with the international community. However, over the past 20 to 30 years, it's become clear that China is instead creating its own order and seeking dominance. This shift in approach presents a significant obstacle to China's growth ambitions. Recent economic content on YouTube and media frequently discusses the crisis facing the Chinese economy, with many suggesting that China is on the brink of failure. While I've also highlighted the challenges within the Chinese economy and view the situation pessimistically, I don't believe China will collapse. This is mainly because most banks sustaining the Chinese economy are state-owned, enabling them to manage and disperse non-performing loans and prevent collapse. Although China is unlikely to face outright failure due to its substantial reserves and national wealth, the shift to a lower growth phase could increase dissatisfaction among those accustomed to higher growth rates, potentially leading to greater suppression by the Communist Party. Is war with Taiwan will help China to resolve current issue? Maybe. Historically, war has been a good solution for such crises, but that's a topic we can discuss in another video. Will China be able to navigate these challenges successfully? I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Thank you for watching.